Okay, I'm wearing the same thing as I was yesterday. Actually, I'm taping both this and the DS9 review on the same day because I have to go in for some medical test, but we'll be dressed somewhat differently by Friday. So stay tuned for our review of the Enterprise incident after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and on the Enterprise incident, this is something that was written by Dorothy Fontana, DC Fontana, who generally writes very good scripts. And while this has been reviewed badly in the past, I don't think it's such a bad episode. And we'll go into that in just a minute. The whole idea behind this was it was kind of a push from the State Department to NBC to Desilu, or Paramount by now, that wanted to kind of give our side of the Pueblo incident, which was an American ship which was spying on the Eastern Bloc and got caught. And so they have the Enterprise do the same thing. And so some people just didn't like the premise of it, that it was not really of Federation values to go and spy on people and steal their technology. But this is exactly what they set out to do. If you take away the political ramifications on all of this and just look at it as a story that's written, it actually was put pretty well together. And a couple of interesting things about it. First of all, this is the first time they mentioned that Vulcans are incapable of lying. And throughout the episode, all Spock does is lie. So we have the evidence right there that if you paid close attention, you'll realize that Vulcans are the ultimate liars. They just tell each other that they don't lie. And people will tend to believe it. So that's kind of my take on Vulcan's truthfulness. They sometimes, as in the case of Tuvok, will just rationalize it, saying, well, I wasn't lying in the context. And even Spock does this somewhat. It's not a lie not to tell what you know. And therefore, not telling the truth is not necessarily a lie, that kind of thing. So they had that. They mentioned here for the first time how long Spock was in Starfleet, which is 18 years. Now, this is the third year of the 5-year mission, and so counting back, that takes us through 2 of the 5-year missions with Pike, and then something before that. So there's a lot of places to go with Spock's character as new shows come along. Anyway, those things were set up there. We see in his attempts to seduce the Romulan commander, some people are saying, well, that's not the kind of relationship Spock would have. Well, probably not, because it was all a ruse to begin with. He was pretending to be interested in her in order to divert her attention while the captain was stealing the cloaking device. It was all part of the plan. And the thing that I noticed, though, that was kind of interesting was it was the introduction. They didn't name it, but it was Romulan ale. It was blue, and it was in a glass, and the Romulans are drinking it. So that well could have been Romulan ale. So that's my take on that. They never said it in Star Trek II that that was what the blue liquid was in that episode. They probably wouldn't have referred back to it anyway, but somehow I think that they probably, before they did Wrath of Khan, they had gone through a lot of the original series episodes and saw a blue drink, and we'll call it Romulan ale. And to be extremely potent would have been within the idea that the commander would have had to get Spock drunk and then bend to her will. There's only one real stupid line in there where the Romulan commander says to Spock that he'll be executed and it will be painful and unpleasant, as opposed to painful and pleasant, or not painful but unpleasant. Well, that might actually work itself. But the writing is a little clunky there and odd for DC Fontana, who's usually better than that kind of thing. Anyway, we see a lot of judicious uses of the Enterprise sets repainted for use as a Romulan ship, including items from Enterprise Engineering, corridors, of course, and it was a matter of just putting a coat of paint on them and putting some things on the wall, and it worked out pretty well, I thought. They may have built it as a special set, but it doesn't look like they needed to do it, and therefore it was easy enough to just repaint some things, then paint them back whenever they were ready to use them back as Enterprise sets. So some interesting little ways that they save money going along the way. So as we had said earlier on in the third season, there are uneven episodes. Obviously, Spock's brain was pretty bad. This one was not too bad. I mean, the concept behind it, from the idea that the Federation was interested in conducting espionage, that the captain would be cross with his crewmen, even as part of the ruse, but the idea that Roddenberry wouldn't allow any of this, that only came after Next Generation. He was pretty wide in his allowances of what the crew could say and do, and sometimes there was a lot of crosswords between members of the crew. But anyway, those are observations that I have about the Enterprise incident. Not great, but not a bad episode, and kind of interesting. And so I'd like to know what you think about this. Give us a note down below, and if you have not subscribed, please do so. And if you liked what you see, click the like button. We'd be appreciative of that. And let's see, we also have later in the week, other things allowing, we will have, of course, Babylon 5 and Lower Decks. So that's coming up on Friday, and that's the review for today. Wish me luck on my medical test, and we'll see you on Friday. Until then, don't go far.